went to Brussels, y'all, and it was absolutely amazing. And oh my gosh, it's a gorgeous city. It
Yeah.
really is.
And we're going to also talk about how we as Black folks felt about traveling through this Western European city.
Brussels, Belgium's vibrant capital, combines historic charm and modern art and culture.
Yeah. Known for its iconic landmarks, comic book culture, and unique mix of French and Flemish influences.
There's a little bit of German in there too. Folks just don't know. It's right on the border.
Ethiopia.
It's right on the border, y'all. All right. So we are going to explore Belgium. We went to, we stayed in Brussels and then we took a day trip to 2 other cities and we're going to show you those cities. But first, if you're new to our channel, hey y'all, my name's Halisi.
And I'm Rick. Welcome to our Black Utopia.
On our channel, we talk about money, travel, and retirement abroad. We help folks who look like us, who are getting close to retirement age and forgot to plan, get their money straight so that they can retire on time or maybe even early.
Early is always a good thing.
So for those of you who might not know, back in like 2018, Rick and I got a wake-up call. We were getting close to retirement age. We looked at our money and it looked crazy.
Crazy.
But we got our financial act together and went from negative 22,000 in net worth to over 1.1 million. Y'all, if we can do it,
You can do it too.
So if any of that sounds interesting to you, please hit that like button, subscribe. Most of the folks who watch our videos are not subscribed. We are trying to get to 50,000 subscribers. So hit that subscription button and also the bell so that you know every single time that we go live or drop a new video. So with that, let's get started on Belgium. All right. So our second day there, we took a walking tour, and the place that we had to meet is called the Grand Place or Grand Place. All right. And we have visited a lot of Western European cities, and I have to say, this is the most impressive square plaza that I have seen so far. Comparing it to some of the places in South Africa that has a very strong European influence. This is the heart of Brussels, y'all. This is the heart of Brussels and a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And it is breathtaking, stunning, Gothic and Baroque architecture.
Yeah, and it's home to the town hall and also the bread house and elaborate guild halls.
Yeah, and guild halls, like we would kind of equate it, you know, in more modern times as like union houses, right? Because they were all separated based upon occupation, right?
It's best viewed at night. Beautiful. I got some great drone shots at night. Also during the annual flower carpet event in August when it's covered in a sea of flowers.
Wow. Wow. We won't be able to show you that because we were there in September and they were having a beer festival.
Yeah.
In the Grand Place. And I have to say, you know, I wanted to see it without all of the little booths set up. And we did get a chance to see it without that. But unfortunately, they were still breaking things down. They had like, what, 200 or 300 beers that you could taste. Belgian beers and maybe some imported beers that you could taste had you bought a ticket. Right. So it was spectacular. It was a huge event. And it looked like folks were really, really enjoying themselves.
Time. Oh, yeah.
So the Grand Place is down there in the historic district. And everyone said to us, you know, because Brussels is a pretty modern city because of past wars and things like that. Some of I guess what we would say suburbs, like outside of the city center, are understanding they were destroyed. And so, like where we were staying, it was pretty modern. And when we say pretty modern, it's all relative, right? It's all relative, but it was pretty modern. But we were told that we needed to go check out the historic district, and thankfully, that's where the walking tour met down there and walked us around. We wandered through Brussels medieval streets and lively squares, and they were filled with just quaint cafes.
Chocolatiers.
Oh, yes.
And boutiques.
Yes.
Small boutiques. It was.
We had a chocolate tasting, and we got to taste some real Belgian chocolate, and we brought a little bit home.
And we got some real Belgian waffle too.
Yes, we did.
Which are a treat within themselves.
Yeah.
They're dessert within themselves.
They are, especially, so there's two different ways that you can make them, as we understand. And one of them, you put sugar crystals in the batter. And then, of course, you know how, any of you who cook, you know how that works, right? So the crystal kind of, the sugar crystallizes and create these bursts of sweet. So
Yeah.
it was great.
It was a great spot to discover the city's culinary delights.
Yeah.
It truly was.
Yeah, definitely. From waffles to chocolate and everything in between.
You know, she was enjoying the chocolate.
I'm not going to lie. Chocolate and I have a deep, close, personal relationship.
I mean, in the chocolate, they had the specialty chocolates that they had there when we went to the different chocolate shops and had tastings. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. They melt in your mouth, and sometimes they put together combinations that you wouldn't expect. So we went to the chocolatier that is actually the official chocolatier of the monarchy or the royalty there in Belgium. And so, and they have been for quite a while. And it's one of the, at the time, the only, but today probably one of the few female-owned chocolatiers in Brussels. So it was really cool. Very good treat.
Okay, y'all.
Because this is kind of funny.
So they got this little statue. They got murals. They got it in statues. And it's called
Mannequin.
And it's a statue of a little boy peeing.
Yeah. So it's on the mannequin because you can find replications all over the city. Is on a corner in a vestibule, you know, with a fountain, right? And don't expect to be overly impressed with this large iconic symbol. It's actually a little statue. It's pretty small, but the story behind it is hilarious. And so it's a fun thing to do, and we think everybody should see it.
I mean, they even make it in chocolate, y'all.
Yeah, they do. And here's the great part. So this is a quirky thing. It's this little statue of this boy peeing, and as the story goes, when during World War II, was it World War II or was it World War One?
I believe it was.
I can't remember which one it was, but in any event, the invaders came in and they were bombing this and bombing that, and at the end of the day, this little boy statue in this spot was still standing and still peeing. And not only that, they changed the costumes on him on a regular basis.
Constantly. Yes, they do.
So like when their football/soccer team is playing, they put him in a little soccer outfit, right? They have a different one for the holidays. As a matter of fact, we went and we were outside the little museum that they have that shows some of the costumes that Mannequin P gets to wear throughout the year. And it's a whole thing. And had we been there longer, because we passed by it a few more times, but we didn't see any of the different costumes, only the ones that were in the museum.
Sure, yeah.
So, part of the trio is Janek P, a girl statue, and Zinek P, a dog statue, which are very nearby. Now, we didn't go see those. But yeah, so if you're there in Brussels and you get an opportunity, definitely check out the iconic Mannequin P.
They do have a huge comic book culture there.
Yes, they do.
Now, the Smurfs come from Brussels, Belgium.
Yeah. The only reason that I knew that is because my stepmother brought the Smurfs to the United States. And so I was already aware of that part. because she used to have to travel to Brussels a few times a year. But what I didn't realize is that that was just a small part of this overall comic book culture,
Yeah.
right? And so there is a comic book route, a tour that you can take. We didn't take it, but we did get to see some of the comic murals that are on the sides of the buildings,
Hmm.
right? And there's even a comic strip center museum, and that's a must see for anyone who is a comic book fan. If Comic Con comes to Brussels, I can only
Ooh, can you
imagine
imagine that?
what
Ooh.
that would be like. Like, I would go to that.
Oh yeah.
I would go to that. I love comic books and I love Marvel comics and all of the rest. And so, I would definitely be interested in Comic Con in Brussels, where they already have that comic book culture
Oh yeah.
and history.
Definitely. I always said the atomium, but it's not. It's atomium.
It's a big atom, y'all.
It's a big atom.
And it's interesting because when we first, like, we took the train. You could take the train there, all right, or the metro. So we took the train there, and there's a little bit of a walk, maybe 10 minutes
Mm,
or so,
if that long.
mais ou menos.
I mean, sure, close.
It's close. It's close. So maybe a 10-minute walk if you're walking at a leisurely pace. And we come out from a park area onto the main strip where the Atomium is. And Rick was like, "Is this it?
It's like, look like a science project.
Is this it?" But it really is impressive.
It's cool.
It really is impressive. So it was built for the 1958 World's Fair. This unique structure represents an iron crystal magnified 165 billion times.
Mm.
And it's right next to this gorgeous
Oh my
park
gosh,
with a
that park.
lake.
Yes.
But as I'm walking up on it and I realize how huge this structure is, I'm going to call it like I mean, it's a piece of art. It really, really is. And I felt so tiny
Yes.
standing underneath it, right? It really is a cool thing to see. And it's free. You can just take the train and just see it. Now, apparently, you can go
You
in
can
it,
go in it.
and there's
Yeah.
probably ticketed thing, a
Yes.
ticketed event. And then there's a little cafe at the bottom. So, if you want to make a day of it, do the park, do the Atomium,
Mhm.
and have lunch or a snack, all of that is right there. But so the house's exhibitions on architecture and design, the futuristic structure itself is worth the trip. It really, really is. And at the top, it offers a panoramic view of the city. Now, again, we did not go up to the top for whatever reason. I don't know why we didn't decide to.
I think we were discovering all the stuff that was around it too. The park areas around it were awesome.
Exactly.
I mean, people were getting married there and
Yes.
weddings going on, just a lot going on.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I took some really cool artistic photos of the atom with the sun coming behind it and all of that stuff. I mean, I guess it's not an atom, it's saying a crystal, iron crystal.
It looks like an
It
atom.
looks like an atom to me. I ain't a scientist, but hey. But anyway, it is definitely worth the trip. And we had the drone, so we really didn't have to go up to the top because we could see from the drone what the panoramic view was all about. Either the shots that we got from the park, right, which is right next to it, and there's cafes in the park as well, or that you got on the site itself,
Yes,
right?
definitely.
So that's the Atomium. It is an iconic thing in Brussels, and you can't go there without at least seeing it. It's
Yes,
worth a
you have
trip.
to visit. So, Belgium has beautiful parks, small
Yes.
parks, large parks, parks with lakes, parks without lakes, just beautiful parks in all the different neighborhoods. So, we went to one huge park. It was not too far at all. It was probably like a 10-minute walk from where we were staying. And this
Yes.
park, when you walked in this park, it was like you entered,
The
yeah,
wo-
it
the,
was a
the woods.
forest. Yeah, the wood footpaths and
Trails.
trails that were going on to be able to walk around the lake and watch the ducks and stuff like that. It was just
It's a
truly
huge
huge.
park, and they have art structures in there, art sculptures, huge public art structures and things like that. Of course, because it is Europe, there were cafes within the park,
Hmm.
but you could get lost in the park.
Yeah.
You really could get lost. Like we had to use our mapping system to make sure that we were not walking out. Now, it's surrounded by major roads, but I swear to you, you cannot hear them when you're in the middle of that park,
No,
right?
because I mean, and they keep the traffic out,
Yeah,
so you can't.
you
You
can't
can
drive in.
drive up to it, and then you have to park and stuff because they even have concerts in that park.
Yes, 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 yes. Not only that, not only the park that were near us, some of the smaller parks, and don't get me wrong, Lisbon has beautiful parks as well, but most of them are not as big, wouldn't you say,
Right.
right? And so, right across the street from where the city kind of enters into the historic district, and across the street from the palace, that was the palace, right? There is another park, huge park. That's where we ate,
Yes.
right? So
Yes.
that's the palace, right?
That's
So
the
right
palace.
across the street from the palace is another large park. Now it's not huge like the one like we talked about before with the woods and all of that stuff, but beautiful manicured lawns. They had like a rose garden, flower garden, and all of that. And again, the cafes. And here in Lisbon, when they have cafes, they're usually kiosks in the middle of the park, and they may have, first of all, small tables, maybe that can seat 30 people. These could seat like almost 100. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
they had picnic benches. That's how much room. And there's still plenty of room for public art, for walking trails throughout the park, and for flower gardens and things like that.
Oh yeah.
They were beautiful. One day when we were walking back trying to get that barbecue, and the rain started, and so we ended up stashing out in another park, which was the same situation where it was big, it was beautiful. They had a cafe, they had
They had covering.
tarps
Right.
over, covering, so we could stay dry, have a little snack or maybe full on meal, and wait out the rain as some other folks were doing.
Mhm.
That's the one where the dog was coming up to us, right, and
Wanting
making
to
us,
play.
yeah,
Yeah.
making us throw the stick for him. It was a good time.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
Day trip.
You had quick day trips we went on. We went to Ghent,
Yes.
and we also went to Bruges.
Bruges.
Bruges. Okay.
Yeah.
I always want to
So,
call it Bergs.
I could see that. So, Ghent, known for its medieval castles and the beautiful St. Bavo's Cathedral, which houses the famous Ghent altarpiece. A bustling student city with picturesque canals and stunning views from the riverside.
Hmm. So then you have Bruges, famous for its canals and its cobblestone streets, its medieval architecture, a fairy tale like destination with
Yes.
highlights like Belfly Tower,
The Belfry Tower.
Belfry, Bats in the Belfry.
Exactly. And the Basilica of the Holy Blood. I mean, it, I don't know that we have too many structures that old, except for maybe in Coimbra, right?
Well, yeah, but
And
there's
maybe Porto, but certainly not here in Lisbon. It is beautiful. It does look like a fairy tale, y'all. It does.
yeah, it does.
And that's ideal for a boat tour along the canals, which we did, especially at sunset with the entire city just glowing from that
Hmm.
sunset sun. It's beautiful. So we met some cool people, and we just talked about we just talked about the day that we were trying to go to that restaurant,
Hmm.
and it started, or they weren't open, and it started raining, so we ended up going someplace else to escape the rain. We met some amazing folks while we were in Belgium, and one of our now friends recommended that we check out the only soul food restaurant in Brussels, y'all. What's the name of it?
Doolies.
So Dooley's is owned by
Darren Dooley.
Darren and his wife, and you will, if you go there, you will meet them. You will meet them. They work there as well, not just own it. And this is real. This is for real, y'all. We're talking about the real ribs, the real barbecue sauce, the real fried chicken, right? Greens. What else did we have? Macaroni and cheese. Y'all, it was off the chain. The owner of Dooley's.
Thank you.
So first tell us why you opened a soul food restaurant in Brussels.
Wow.
In Brussels.
Yeah, well, being diplomatic for the last 20 years, moving back to Brussels, I saw a need, I saw a want for something, and talking to my friends, something southern, something different, and soul food came to mind. And as I was saying to you before, I had been working with the soul food concept from 2011, and when I got back to Brussels in 2020 and 2022, I finally pulled the trigger and opened up a soul food restaurant.
Okay. And the food is on point, y'all. The food is on point. We will show you the food, but have you always been in the restaurant business?
Off and on pretty much all my life. You know, I worked for the usual suspects when I was younger, you know, and on up to Shoney's, and worked in kitchens for chefs, and worked for, you know, different organizations, cooking, and, you know, through the years. Like that right there.
Okay. So you moved out of the United States in what year?
In 1999.
A long time ago.
Yeah. Long time.
Okay, so when's the last time you've been back?
Oh, I was just back this past December. Past December, I went back to see the family.
Okay, and before that?
Oh, it was sometime, maybe the year before that.
So you go back about every 2 to 3 years?
It depends on where I'm at. When I was in Africa for those years, it was about 8 years that I didn't go, or I didn't go back to America.
There was a long
There was a
span.
gap. There was a gap from say 2002 to 2010.
Okay.
10, 11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of things changed during that time. I mean, we had the Great Recession. We had the first black president. So you left in the middle of that era. And then you came back in like 2012, 2013?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
2012, 2013 came and then was repatriated to Sri Lanka in 2012. So it was from in Sri Lanka from 2012 to 2016.
And so, okay, so were you in Africa from 2000, the early 2000s?
I was in Africa, in Uganda from the early 2000s, from 2002 to 2011.
Okay.
And in between there was just another diplomatic mission for Sri Lanka. So it was 4 years in Sri Lanka, and then Ethiopia another 4 years, and then back here.
Okay. So you went from America to Uganda.
America to Brussels. Brussels to
Uganda.
To Thailand.
Oh, Thailand.
It was our first diplomatic mission.
Okay.
And from Thailand we went to Uganda.
Uganda.
From Uganda to Ethiopia. I mean, from Uganda to what was it? Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka. But you were in America in between there.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So from Sri Lanka to Ethiopia, and then from Ethiopia,
then we was repatriated back to Belgium.
To Belgium, and no America in between there.
No
America in between there. Okay. This man has been everywhere, on just about every continent.
Only two I haven't been to: South America and Antarctica.
Yeah, that don't count.
Okay, so this one, I'm gonna go, but
because ain't no people there. Ain't no people there, right? There's people in South America, right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, the thing about it is, it's like, okay, yes, there's geography, but there's people, people with their different experiences, with their different look on life.
Different foods, different tastes, different spices, different from Moroccan to Algerian to Ethiopian to eating with your hands and grosha when they feed you Ethiopian style. There's so much out there to learn, and so much in the food game and the food taste.
Okay, So you opened up a restaurant in Ethiopia?
In Ethiopia, it's still open and it's running. It's
Okay.
called Fat Boys. It's in Hauhulet, in an area called Hauhulet, down from St. Michael's Church. And
What kind of food?
we're doing African food and American food, burgers and fries, and also the Ethiopian specialists too. Injera, we serve injera.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So do you have any fusion dishes there, or is it just either Ethiopian and American?
Ethiopian and American, we're not doing very many fusion dishes.
Okay.
When I'm there and I'm doing the cooking, that's a different story.
All right. And then doolies.
Doolies.
So we learned about this from a subscriber, and they're like, "We're sad that you're leaving, because you should have tried out doolies. You know, it's American barbecue." And so, thankfully, because somebody's on point, my husband Rick, he's on point. He saw it. He's like, "Oh, we got to check this out." So we walked here. Y'all was closed. It was raining.
Brussels, Belgium.
It
It
was
wouldn't
raining.
be right if it wasn't raining.
We came up here and we were like, well, wait a minute, what's going on? But what we know is, look, in America, when they list the times, it is the law that you have to obey those times. This is Europe, y'all. This is Europe. And they were coming off of the August vacations, and this is Europe. This is how it goes. And so you got to double check and triple check, which we didn't. And I knew. I was thinking, we're going to walk all the way over there. We walked from our place. You took us
I
home.
took y'all home. I know
So
that
you
would have
know.
been a good walk.
Right?
Woo.
We walked all the way over here. And then came back the next day. So you know.
What can I say?
And we found you open.
I
I made reservations online first. I was like,
yeah.
look.
Well, that's what they mainly work with here. When you're new and you start up, you know, mainly you working with your reservation, especially when you're working with soul food. You know, you can't hold your food. You know, you're not cooking a mass of food like a cafeteria and then trying to hold it or keep it. You want to, you know, cook scratch kitchen per day, which you're going to use.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, coming off their vacation, all the Europeans, you had to get used to it, take their 13th month pay in their vacation, and everybody skedaddles. So that was us. Every year we leave for the month.
I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you. I try to tell people, don't come in August. Do not come to Portugal in August. Do not come to Europe in August. Because
Everybody's
it's closed.
It's closed.
Unless you don't mind that.
Yep.
Unless you don't mind that, you know. And what's so funny is the hotels still have high prices. Like it's peak time. Oh, but you ain't gonna get, none of the mom and pops are open.
No.
None of the mom and pops
No,
are open.
they take their vacation, we take our vacation and our month and get back at it. So we're here to let you know we are open. Check the internet. Make a reservation. We have reservations. Table Booker. The Table Booker does all that for you.
Yes, do make a reservation, because if you make a reservation, you can be assured
Yes.
that they will be open and that
We'll have
the
enough food for
the
you.
food will be fresh. Because here in Europe, they don't buy bulks and bulks and bulks of food and put it in the freezer.
No.
Every single restaurant that we, go to, the good restaurants, there's a soul food restaurant, and you see me air quotes, in Portugal.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
called Soul Kitchen and Bar,
Okay.
but it's African soul food.
Yes.
All right, it's African soul food, and he gets his deliveries every day based upon the reservations and everything else.
Yes.
And when the food's gone, it's gone.
It's gone. That's.
When the food's gone, it's gone. You remember that with soul food restaurants when we used to go after church, right? When the food's gone, it's gone.
It's gone.
So what?
But it takes so long to prepare the food and everything. So if you get an unexpected rush or more people, it's not like you can go in there and throw, give me 15 more burgers, or throw down more fish and chips. 5, 10, 15 minutes. You got not fresh when you got cooked food. Soul food, it's a long cook process, especially making the macaroni and cheese and potato salad. The foods need to marry. The sauces need to come together. It's not something you could just throw together and say, okay, here come another 15 people. Hey, Johnny, pull out another case of burgers.
No,
It just-
unless it's frozen, and then it's not going to have the same quality.
No, it's not. So I had to turn people away today for that very, reason. It's like, I'd rather, keep the quality up and than to mass produce on the hope that you'll be busy or busier, and then you have to, try to re-prep that food and
Right.
redo it, and what, it's not worth it.
So what is your signature dish? If someone were to come to Dewey's, if they only had, if this was their last night in Brussels and they came to Dewey's, what is the thing that they have to try? Because look, you ain't gonna get it like this
I'm gonna say the
nowhere else.
buttermilk fried chicken.
Buttermilk fried chicken.
Fried chicken,
is
yeah.
Really, really.
I'm gonna say buttermilk fried chicken is by far one of the most popular dishes on the menu. But the smoked chicken is excellent. The ribs.
The ribs were amazing. Yeah, it was very.
I mean, it just depends on what you're hungry for that day.
It looks like the
beef ribs, the beef short ribs. I mean, it's just.
I love his beef ribs. I love his buttermilk fried chicken. And which one? Yeah, he loves that.
We ate on that for 2 days, y'all. Look, so I want y'all to imagine, because I had the fried chicken. Golden Bird Gourmet. Golden Bird. Because flavor, the spices.
When you're cooking in small batches, you're not cooking in large portions like that.
Oh
You can
my
have more control,
gosh.
and you can control the spice and the tastes, and that's what it's
So
all
you
about.
gonna give us the recipe?
What did you say?
You gonna give us
If
the
I
recipe?
tell you I to kill you, you don't want to have it. But it's a very simple recipe. It's called love.
Oh,
It's called love. It's called cooking with love.
Oh.
We can cook the same dish with the same recipes, with the same ingredients, and they will not be the same
it's true. It's true.
because you had to cook with love.
And even I'm a good cook for a layman, but what you do is art.
It's passion. It's passion. It's a lot of years and a lot of kitchens. Basically what I was doing in Atlanta was corporate training for Shaquille O'Neal, Tiger Woods, Steffi Graf. They opened. They were corporate investors in All Star Grill to open up right before the '96 Olympics, say '96, '97,
Okay.
and that's when they had one of the big fights there with Holyfield there. And where was I going with this right here? So
That's where
working
you start?
working in Illinois, where I originally came from, in the food industry, I was a corporate trainer. So I got my corporate status with the Mexican restaurant, and went to Iowa City, Iowa, and worked in their store to get my certification. So when I was in Atlanta, I was doing the same thing.
Okay.
I was corporate training, and in corporate training, you do the whole bit,
Right.
front of the house, back of the house,
Right,
the bar,
right.
the kitchen. So I was trained in all these areas. I didn't consistently work in all these areas. So when I did get expatriated and go to these different places, I trained people in the systems that they had in America. Most of the employees, I had up to 76, 80 employees at one time, to see them go into management and see them go into the industry and do well.
Yes.
So that was very gratifying.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. So what would you like to tell our audience about Dewey's?
Oh, fresh, fun, friendly. What should I say? Home cooked. Come as a guest, leave as a friend. That's
There
what
you
I'll
go.
say.
He's got so many incredible items on the menu. It's difficult, and where can I find a good mac and cheese in Brussels? I mean, it's everything on his menu is just a gem. A gem.
So if you are in Brussels, you must go to Dewey's Cafe. We enjoyed Belgium. We really, really did.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I really enjoyed Belgium. To me, I mean, as far as its beauty and stuff like that, but to me, I didn't get the vibe that, that I would want to actually live there.
Yeah.
It's a great place to visit. It's a great place to see different things and experience different things, but it wasn't my vibe as far as living there.
I could see that. I think, what we do know is that Western Europe participated in a lot of atrocities during colonization. And I don't get the feeling that they've totally reconciled their part that they played in the problems that are going on in the Congo today. Portugal's got its own issues regarding that and the diaspora that is here. We know that. So, from that standpoint, I think that there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. But it is a beautiful city. I felt totally safe and comfortable walking around and welcome. I can't say that I got negative vibes from folks who were European
No.
or present as European. There is diversity there. We saw a lot of folks from the diaspora that spoke French. So they were not tourists. So there is diversity there, but not like there is here in Lisbon. Not like there is here in Lisbon. And the other thing is you got to be careful when you go. If you do not like cold, I would say stick to probably like late May to mid-September. It was getting chilly when we were there.
And they do get snow.
And they do. And the weather that we experienced there for some of the days were beautiful.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
But the rainy days felt like our rainy days in the winter, not our fall rainy days, because it'll be hot here and rain, right? Or warm and rain, but it was cold and rainy. And that was reminding me of the Lisbon winters. And so for that reason, I don't think I would prefer to live there. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, the snow would definitely keep me away.
Yeah. And then the price point. It was a little bit more
Yeah, a
expensive
little pricey.
than we're used to paying. We can go out for a full meal with a drink or two and pay 15 euro, y'all. We just paid. I think I gave a €4 tip. And I usually don't give tips, but when I saw that it was literally only 14 euro for a full dinner, which I still have leftovers in the kitchen, right? Hey. And so we're spoiled here in Portugal when it comes to that. But as tourists, Brussels, Ghent, and Bruges each offer a slice of Belgium's rich history, artistic heritage, and vibrant culture. They are absolutely beautiful, and definitely worth the time, energy, and money.
Yeah, so if you're in Europe, they are must-see places to go.
Yeah.
Right? You just got to check them out.
Yeah. Check out Brussels and then do day trips to some of the other nearby cities.